Special edition of Friday's Culotta and the Prince vlog. We're joined by LSU head baseball coach Paul Mainieri, coming off of last night's win over Southeastern, a comeback win 9-8, their first game of 4 in 4 straight days. But Coach, always kind enough with his time to come by Guarantee Broadcast Company during the Dreams Come True Radiothon. It's our 6th annual over here. We've seen you as long as you've been at LSU, Coach. We always appreciate your time, and as always, it's good to see you.
Well, it's such a small thing for me to do, really, Jordy. Everybody always thanks me, but honestly, for what these families go through, the courage that they have, just the devastation that they have to deal with, having children that are sick, for me to just spend a little time, or our players to come over and spend a little time, is really nothing. But it's wonderful that Guarantee Radio is so active with them to do the things that you guys do, because without your help, I'm sure it would be very difficult for them to provide the services that they do for these families that are so fortunate to receive the benefits.
Coach, we know a lot of these families, these youngsters, they love the opportunity to get out and get in the open spaces. You got the nicest park in town over there on Nicholson. What's it like for you when you get these guys to come over and be a part of just a little small something with the LSU baseball program?
Well, first of all, you're happy to bring a little bit of joy into their life. Their lives are in such turmoil and so traumatic, and the things they have to deal with, none of us can hardly even fathom what they're going through. So it's, first of all, it's just nice to give a little joy to the families, to maybe get a little bit of an escape. Secondly, there's a little bit of a vested interest, I think, because I think it clearly illustrates to our players just how fortunate and blessed they are to have the things that they have in life. Sometimes we get caught up in our little minuscule worries of little things that are so really irrelevant in life. And then when you look over your shoulder and you see what's happening with some of these families and the challenges that they face daily, I think it gives a different perspective to our players. They're so fortunate to be at LSU. They have intelligence to be able to be in a great university. They have athletic ability to be able to play for LSU baseball. They have charisma, good looks, all the other qualities that they have, especially their health. And sometimes I think it's important that they get reminded of how fortunate that they are.
Coach, bringing some of your players into the building, I'd imagine some unsaid lessons just being taught just by some of the sights that you see.
Well, first of all, it's an important thing for our players to be involved in the community. When you're an LSU baseball player, and let's go way back to when we recruit them, and I sit them down on my couch and we talk about what we expect out of them in terms of developing as a baseball player and getting an education and having the social life in proper perspective. The fourth component of our program really is a community service element. And I think it's just really important. You can't have all the good things in life, the prestige of being an LSU baseball player, that status in this town, without using that as a platform to help other people that are less privileged than they are. And so it's something we emphasize with our players a lot. And honestly, I'm really proud of our players for what they do and go out in the community, give of their time. I know Brady Domain and Jared Foster are up there right now taking calls. And yesterday I think we had 4 players that came by and dedicated about 3 hours of their time. So I'm just really proud of those guys. I think it's important that they have that perspective. I think it helps them become better baseball players and certainly better people.
South Point Volkswagen phone line open at 490-8190. It'll be until 7 o'clock this evening. The Dreams Come True Radiothon, the 6th annual, going on over here at Guarantee Broadcast Company. Coach Paul Mainieri, his teammates, so valuable with their time, so complimentary with their time and stopping by. Big one for you last night. You knew Matt Reiser and his squad were going to be prepared to play when they touched down in Baton Rouge. You needed all 9 innings to get out of there with a win.
Well, we're used to it with Southeastern. Every time we play them, it's these kind of games. And it looked like we had the game in hand. We're up 7-1. We had so many tremendous at-bats, clutch hits early in the game. Looked like we were well on our way to victory, but to their credit, they don't quit. They scrapped their way back into it. We helped them a little bit. We walked 9 batters, including 2 at the bases loaded, and we wild pitched home 2 runs. That's very uncharacteristic of us and our pitching staff. But to their credit, they put the pressure on us, and that happened. So we fell behind late, but fortunately for us, Jake Fraley came through so huge for us in the bottom of the 8th inning with the 2-run triple to give us the lead, and then Jesse Stallings threw the ball great in the 9th inning. So what turned out to be at times a very frustrating evening, a very cold evening, a long evening, at the end of the 9 innings, we were able to go home happy.
You got Princeton in tonight, tomorrow, Sunday for a 3-game series. Give us a little scouting report on Princeton.
They're really smart. Yeah.
Oh.
I knew you knew that was coming. Well, I used to coach at a school that was a very selective university, University of Notre Dame. You had to be at the top of your high school graduating class to just be accepted, and that's the same at Princeton. So I know what kind of players they have on their team. Obviously very intelligent, and I don't say that to make fun. I mean it. They're intelligent kids, and usually when you have really intelligent kids, they're generally disciplined, focused, and a lot of times, because they're playing in the northern part of the United States where the conditions are so difficult to play in, they have a toughness about them. And you go back and check the record, Princeton has put a few guys in the major leagues that have done really well through the years. So, he beat us a couple years ago. Last year, Yale beat us on a Sunday. It's not a team to take lightly at all. They're going to be so excited about being out here to have an opportunity to play. They're not going to think it's cold at all tonight. The Ivy, there's a common start date across the country, but the Ivy League has their own common start date, and that's this weekend. So they haven't even been on a field yet, and this is their opening games. I'm sure their enthusiasm will be great. They haven't had anything negative happen to them, so they have a very positive attitude. We don't have any kind of scouting report on them because they haven't played at all, and they've watched every one of our games. So I don't think it's anything to take lightly this weekend.
Coach, we talked to Mike Fontenot. He stopped by here. He was downstairs answering some phones, taking donations. Your schedule over the next 11 days kind of lines up like a major league schedule with the amount of baseball you'll play.
Yeah, I really didn't expect to go so deep into our bullpen last night, but we have to take them one at a time, and we had to do what we needed to do to win last night. A couple of those guys won't be available today, but we need a good, strong starting pitching performance from Jared Poche. He's got to be a real leader tonight to get us going, because obviously the challenge of playing 4 days in a row, 6 and 7 days, 9 and 11 days is going to tax your pitching staff. So somebody's going to have to pitch some innings for us and get the job done, and hopefully Jared will get us off to a good start tonight.
Princeton in town for a 3-game set, 2 midweek games with Stephen F. Austin and Grambling. The Tigers are off to Houston for the Houston Baseball Classic, the Houston College Classic. Coach Paul Maneri with us on this special edition of Culotta and the Prince, the vlog on this Friday, and, of course, in the building for the Dreams Come True Radiothon. Always good to see you, Coach.
My pleasure.
Best of luck this weekend. Check us out at 1045ESPN.com. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN. Check out Culotta and the Prince weekdays, 7 to 9 a.m.